So next we're going to talk about the contract, what it is and what it requires. So let us start with what the social contract actually contains. Not the philosopher's version, the practical one, the one that used to be taught by showing, not telling. So let's start off with what you owe. You work if you are able to work, not because the law requires it, but because the alternative, living off benefits of others indefinitely without contributing, violates something fundamental about membership in a community. Work is not just income, it is identity, structure, social connection, the discipline of showing up, the dignity of contributing something. When we removed the expectation of work, we did not liberate people from drudgery. We removed the thing that gave a significant number of people their only reliable source of purpose and structure. You contribute to the community you live in, not necessarily in money, but in behaviour. You do not make the street worse for everybody else. You do not make the block noisier, more dangerous, more degraded. You mind your own business, which means not imposing your choices on others. You know your neighbours' names, perhaps. You do not vandalise shared space. The broken window principle is not a metaphor. It is the documented evidence that visible disorder produces more disorder, because disorder communicates what is acceptable. And you raise your children to the standard that society requires, not your standard, the social standard, the one that allows your children to participate in mainstream economic and civil life. That means professional etiquette, the ability to defer gratification, respect for authority, not blind obedience, but functional respect for the institutions that make cooperation possible. The difference between having a problem with a specific police officer and having a problem with the concept of policing. So next we're going to talk about what you get back. In return for contributing, you receive protection from crime, from arbitrary authority, from exploitation. You receive opportunity, not guaranteed outcomes, but genuine access to the pathways that lead to better outcomes. You receive the right to be left alone, to make choices about your own life without the state or your neighbours imposing their values on you. And you receive the dignity of being treated as a capable adult, not a helpless dependent. So next we're going to talk about shame, where it went, and pride as social technology. Shame gets a bad press. I guess it deserves some of it. Pathological shame, the kind that destroys rather than corrects, is genuinely damaging. But functional shame, the discomfort of behaving in ways that fall below your own standard, is essential for social technology. It is the internal governor that operates when no external one is present. A society without the function of shame is a society where the only check on behaviour is the law, and that can't be everywhere and produces compliance without conviction. Pride is the other side of the same coin. Pride in what you have built, in what you have earned, in the reputation of your family and your community. You cannot have one without the other. And when you remove shame, you remove pride. And when you remove both, you get what you have. A culture where achievement is not celebrated because it implies that those who have not achieved could have. And where failure is not acknowledged because it implies that the person who failed had agency in the matter. These values are not Western values. They are not conservative values. They are human infrastructure. The Japanese concept of maiwaku, not causing inconvenience to others, is the same principle. The African concept of Ubuntu, I am because we are, is the social contract stated directly. Or Confucian, respect for elders. Islamic obligation of community contribution through zakat. These civilizations arrived at the same conclusions independently because the conclusions are correct. They are what makes cooperation between strangers possible, and cooperation between strangers is what civilization is.